hit start recording. Just in case, I don't think I'll need a local recording, but you never know. Hopefully the days of the streams cutting out are long gone. Yeah, I had to learn that the hard way. I was not having a very good internet connection that could upload fast enough to keep up. But yeah, so I should be live. Welcome everyone to the stream. Let me see. Let's go over here to the YouTube here and look at the live tab here. Yes, I can hear myself. Lovely. Okay. All right, we're going to pause that. Okay. Started streaming less than 1 minute ago. So we got one watching right now. Oh, now it's up to 3. Yes, welcome everyone to the live stream. Now it says started streaming 94 seconds ago. Alright, let's see. How do I get to the comments section? Live chat. Got people saying hi. Bryant says hi. I think my dad's watching it. It's funny. Yeah, so here we are. He said it's about damn time. Yeah, well, I was eating and talking to him, and now here we are. Got some more people saying hi. Let's see, where's the watching stat? 6 watching now. Okay, we're getting some decent traction here. Alright, well, yeah, so I guess we are good to go. Let me check. Let's see. Yeah, see, so I'm looking at Task Manager here at the send section for data, and it's saying 4.8 megabits per second, which is still less than 1 megabyte per second if you do the conversion, if you divide by 8. But it does go to show that, yeah, if you want to reliably live stream to YouTube, you have to have decent upload speeds. If you do not, well, you get your streams cutting off and things like that, which was what used to happen to me. All right, so yeah, let's look at the chat here. Oh, up to 7 watching now. Let's see. Got some more people saying hi. Acer says it's been a while since one of these has happened. Yeah, I got some comments about it, and I thought I would do one of these. Werner something says, how's it going? I'm doing well. How about you? Doing okay here. Bryant says, I can't believe how good the battery is on this player. Oh, I think he's talking about how good the battery is on the NLS player. I don't know if it's new because I think it's been out for about a year now. But yeah, it's the newer version of their digital talking book players that they send out to patrons. And I'm going to get one because I might as well. And put it through its paces. But yeah, from what I've heard, it seems to have a pretty good battery. I think I was talking to someone yesterday, and I was told you could get between 40 and 60 hours of battery life out of it, depending on different conditions. That's pretty good. TTS 292 says hi. Got some more people asking how I am. Yeah, I'm doing good. I hope you guys are too on Saturday or Sunday, depending on where you are in the world. Like, I guess if you're somewhere like Australia, it's already Sunday morning. Acer says I still have yet to get a DA2 player. Yeah, I called the Texas library yesterday, and so I guess they're going to send it to me hopefully at some point next week, along with a shipping label to send the old one back. Which, the old one, it still works, but the battery is toast. In fact, I think it's so bad that you can't use it unless it's plugged in unless it's plugged into the wall. Mackenzie says hello. Werner says, I like your playthrough of How Close is the Ghost. Yeah, that's a cute game. I like I like Cheese the Cat. Alright, we're caught up. Okay, yeah, so, I say I'm caught up for now, but I may not be. Just have to wait and see. Oh wow, we're up to 17 watching. That's actually pretty good. Yeah, so let's see, what was I going to talk about? Oh, yeah. That's this is actually probably a good time for that. For those that care or that want to talk to me or do talk to me on different platforms, this is just to let you know that I'm going to stop paying for the server in October, and I'm going to move most of my operations over to Discord. So if you want to talk to me on Discord or you want to join the Discord server I have over there, you can just get in contact with me. My site will hopefully still continue. That's at christopherw.me. But the Team Talk server and things I host on the VPS will be going down because I'm not paying for it anymore, but it will be around until October 29th because that's when the payments run out. So just a heads up there. Let's look at some more chats. Acer. I've recently been going to the arcade to play the one game that's accessible. What game is that? I wasn't aware of any arcade games being blind friendly. At least not in places like that. Denny saying it's pretty cool that the battery life on that is as good as it is. Well, I think it just depends on the size, right? So the Sense player, because I have one, it's okay. I think I get like between 10 to 12 hours out of it. But this thing has a much larger battery, so yeah, that would be why. I don't know about the Victor Reader Stratus. I don't know how good the battery in that is. I don't have one. Um, isn't that the unit with the CD player in it? Okay, Blind Goofball. It's another user saying, "Hey, how's it going? I'm doing good. How about you?" Mackenzie says, "I'll post it on Mastodon." That's up to you. Yeah, if you want to, sure. Ferreris asks if I have Facebook. No, I do not. No, and I really don't. I don't really want Facebook. I mean, I guess I could get it and use Messenger, but I have very little reason to go on platforms like that. However, you can find me on Discord, Telegram, Google Chat, and iMessage or FaceTime if you push me, and I have Apple devices turned on, but that's not the best way to reach me. Denny is asking what I'm using for my VPS provider. It's I was using Linode, but they're pretty expensive. Now I'm using Contabo, Contabo, Contabo. Acer says they have Bop It as an arcade game. Okay, that's kind of cool. Win Electronics talking about Windows 11, Microsoft prioritizing stability. Yeah, we'll see about that. I don't know. They've been on this crazy AI push just like the rest of the industry, and it's very exhausting. Yeah, Bryant says the trade-off is smaller devices, of course, have smaller batteries. Well, yeah, of of course. Bryant's asking if they're still selling the Stratus. I think so. Acer talking about the Victor Reader Stratus and Classic. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're not selling the Victor Reader Classic anymore. That's pretty old. Mackenzie talking about getting a Pixel. Yeah, if you're gonna get a Google Pixel, I would either get the 9A or wait for the 10A, which should be out in April or March, maybe. Someone asking if I have Steam. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I guess I've jumped on the Steam and Discord bandwagons. I still think they're a bit clunky, but they've gotten better. And especially Steam has. So if you use it in big picture mode, it's quite usable now. It seems like they've made a pretty good turnaround. Apparently, Valve even implemented Orca, the Orca screen reader, into their Steam OS platform. So I guess that can now talk to you. But I don't have a Steam Deck. I don't really care about Steam OS. Mackenzie's saying Google Voice. Google Voice. Yeah, I guess Google Voice works too, but that's just a telephone number. Though, yeah, I guess if someone wants to call me on the phone, you could use that, and then I don't have to give people my actual number. And just as a pro tip, if you are calling Google Voice to Google Voice, the quality of the phone call is extremely good because you're doing it purely over the internet, not piggybacking off the garbage plain old telephone system. I think is what they call it. POTS. Yeah, Google Voice is pretty cool if you can get it, but the only bad thing is I believe you have to be in the United States to use it. Danny talking about the Stratus and being a CD player and having really slow SD reads. And it freezes constantly. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Yeah, sorry if I'm behind, by the way. I'm trying to go through these. Marco Garatoni, I think, says, does TDV still exist? It does. I don't think it's being maintained. That's the game 3D Velocity. Acer Windows Phone is coming back? No, I haven't heard about that. Pretty sure Windows Phone is dead. They realized they couldn't compete with Android and Apple in 2017. Some other comment about computers turning into paperweights for Windows Update. I haven't had problems with that. I thought it was just an enterprise thing. Blind Goofball talking about the point of specialized player devices. Yeah, I get where you're coming from. It really depends on you. I like having buttons, and that gives me predictability. And the other nice thing with these two, of course, is yes, you have to charge them, but that also means that you're not wasting the battery on your phone. So if you need something critical with your phone, you're not having to share that with playing books and things like that. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, of course, that choice is completely up to you. Acer saying I have a Victor Classic and it does pretty good as a CD player with a battery. I haven't used CDs in a long time, and I don't miss them. Acer talking about Steam and what I was just talking about. Bryant talking about Windows 11. Yeah, it's okay once you get past all the arbitrary requirements that they have in place. I've been running I've been running Windows 11 since day one because I knew I would eventually have to, and yeah, it's been working pretty well. I haven't really had any major problems with it. Mackenzie talking about default language in Steam is Chinese. I haven't noticed that, but I don't install Steam directly. I get it through ninite.com. That's ninite.com. Which is, by the way, a very nice site. You can go there, you check the boxes for the programs you want, you download a file, run it, and it just installs the programs. Blind Goofball talking about putting Steam in big picture. So what we're talking about with big picture mode, there's a different mode. I don't know what it looks like visually. I imagine it's probably more of like a console style interface. If you go to the Steam icon in your system tray and you bring up the menu, there's an option called Big Picture Mode, and you put it into that mode, and then you can you can use the arrow keys to navigate around. If you hit Escape, it brings up the Steam menu, so you can get to things like your profile and settings and things like that. Comments about Samsung. Good morning here in Malaysia. Oh, wow. Marco, how easy would it be to modify a UPG file so Stream and Stratus accepts it? I don't know. That is beyond me. And you do things like that at your own risk, because if you brick something, I don't know if HumanWare would help you reflash the system. But my understanding is those files are complete system images, which is why it takes longer to install upgrades, because it's literally overwriting the existing operating system with the one that you just downloaded. But I don't know how to modify those files. I kind of don't want to, because I don't want to brick my devices and then go to the manufacturer and they tell me I can't restore it. Array is saying VTube is working. I haven't used that program in a long time. Acer says some kind of phone is coming and it dual boots Windows 11 on ARM and Android/Debian. Okay, that's kind of interesting. Problem is, I don't know. I mean, I guess if you hooked up a keyboard to it, it might be okay. But then how would the battery be? Because if you're using a full version of Windows, it would probably absolutely destroy your battery. Speaking of computers, though, apparently there's a keyboard computer. It's like the HP something board. It's a full desktop computer inside a keyboard. I don't know if you can buy it yet, but it sounds kind of interesting. And apparently you can add an optional battery. The next phone 5 will boot Windows on ARM or Debian when docked, and Android. Okay, that's weird. What? Oh, something about Eloquent bringing Code Factory bringing Eloquence back. Yeah, I really don't care, but there are lots of people that like that speech engine, and so they did. Someone asking, how do I read comments? I just go through here. So I have the YouTube page open to the stream. Win Electronic, if only Apple would let you boot Windows 11 alongside Mac OS. Yeah, so I think the thing with that is they don't care, and I believe I heard that it was up to Microsoft. Microsoft doesn't seem to care because they want you to buy Copilot Plus PCs, not put Windows on Macs. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. What game do you like to play, Chris? That really depends. I don't play a lot of them anymore. Mainly I find I like the online stuff like Quentin C. And of course there's Play Palace that's coming. That's an open source. Basically, think an open source version of Quentin C. And that is quite interesting, but I'm waiting to demonstrate it until it becomes a little more stable and quits constantly changing. But yeah, that's pretty cool that we finally have an open source program like that. So basically, anyone with the knowledge can contribute. Try opening Notepad in Windows 11 with that update installed. I can open Notepad just fine. Yeah, I don't... Apparently there are people that have had issues with Windows updates. I really haven't, so I should probably count myself lucky. Acer talking about big picture mode. DJ something says City of Division 2 is out. Where is it? Because I don't know if it's official, and last I heard it was sold to someone and shut down, so I don't know. Marco, is Timecrest abandonware? I don't think so. They're just taking a really long time to come up with new chapters. They did release Lengard, which I purchased at the reduced price, and I need to look at it, but it doesn't sound like a very good game from what I keep hearing. But yeah, Timecrest updates may happen at some point, but we don't know. Denny's talking about making a... What? Something that lets you use Android text-to-speech engines with anything on Windows that's compatible with SAPI 5, which is basically Microsoft's speech API. Okay, that's kind of cool, I guess. Microsoft is fine with allowing Windows on M series processors. See, I don't know, because last I heard, Apple said it was up to Microsoft, and so I don't think they're going to write drivers. That's going to be up to Microsoft. Deleze or something asking if I have Discord. Yeah, I was just talking about that. My Discord username, for those of you that want to talk to me, is it's going to be SLANNON97. That's how you can reach me The Discord server itself is private and invite only. Well, semi-private, I guess, but yeah, it's invite only because I don't want random people coming in and causing drama and things like that. Another comment here about how I read comments. Yeah, so I answered that before. I load up the stream web page and read the comments from the web page. Afton Robotics says I keep pausing updates on Windows and don't have any problems. You can do that, but eventually you're probably going to have to update your system. So, yeah, no, I've been very fortunate not to have problems. Well, the only problem I had, and this was fixed pretty quickly, there was a bug where you couldn't turn on narrator in the Windows recovery environment, but that's been fixed. DJ says it has been brought back up by new developers. Oh, you're talking about City of Division? Okay, I may have to look into that because I don't know. Okay, that's a comment for someone else. Oh wow, I'm caught up. Wow. Acer says I haven't had problems with Windows updates except for when Notepad failed to load. Oh, okay. You can contact me on Discord, or you can email me. Not sure why it's deleting it unless it's flagging it as something. I just hope it's not another one of these things where immature children take the source code for something and make their own stuff, and because I really don't want to deal with that. I have a bug in Windows 11 where if I type Notepad into the run dialog, it gives a system error. Okay, yeah, I'm not having that. I don't know, maybe install all your Windows updates and maybe run some repair commands in Windows. That's bizarre. Oh yeah, Wayne Electronics says Microsoft has 2 versions of Notepad built into Windows. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. There's so there's the new modern one that you get from the store, from the Microsoft store, and then there's the older one that's been around forever. Now, I don't know when they're going to get rid of that. They may or may not get rid of the older one. Afton Robotics says I can't download City of Division because I can't pass the I'm not a robot. Oh, so it's like a CAPTCHA? Weird. Okay. Someone added me as a friend on Discord. I'll check here in a second. Denny, do you mind if I share my Discord user? That's up to you. I mean, this is a public chat, so just be mindful of that. I mean, I don't care, but just be aware of that. Acer talking about Notepad. Let's see. If you add too many people in a short amount of time, it triggers a CAPTCHA. Oh, you mean Discord? Yeah, I'm not surprised. That probably to probably to cut down on spam. Bryant saying, hopefully the developer that brought it back is actually the developer that bought it. Otherwise, it shouldn't be brought back. I agree. I really don't want to deal with children messing with source code just because they have it and making a whole bunch of different versions that are just no. Oh, look, we are caught up again. Let's see. Been streaming for about half an hour. Okay, yeah, I think we're doing pretty good, and it's almost 2 o'clock. Tell you what, let's go till about 3. I think I can do another hour, and I'll just keep reading comments here and maybe talk about some things. Let's see. DJ says, I'm just happy it was brought back at all. Someone giving out a YouTube username? Okay, I'll have to look at that. Danny, what do you think about the Ray-Ban Meta glasses? Have you heard of the Ally Solos? Yeah, so the problem I have with these glasses, well, there's a few problems. The two main ones for me are they're too expensive and they're not standalone. So they have to be connected to your phone to make the processing work. So if you're going to do that, I would prefer that they be cheaper than they are. And the other thing is, I don't think these glasses, well, I guess the Solos from Envision, they have a removable battery pack, which is pretty cool. But the as far as I know, the Meta glasses do not. And if I'm going to get one of these, and especially if I'm using it for things like visual interpretation, I would want to carry around at least 1 or 2 extra battery packs with me, because I've heard if you're doing things like that, you can go through battery life pretty quickly. So yeah, I'm not really interested in that stuff right now, but I am watching the space. Philip Baker, what's your username on Telegram? That's just Telegram is just SLANNON. Afton says, I also have Discord, but it's private. I don't want any trouble. Yeah, I don't blame you. There's too many people out there that cause unnecessary drama, and I don't want to deal with that if I don't have to. DJ says, not much has changed since the last version from Fire Gaming, but a lot has changed since your overview. Yeah, I mean, there's some new stuff in there. I think there's like a match mode, so you can match with players and duke it out. I think the storylines have expanded a bit, but I wasn't high enough level to really take advantage of it. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that game was kind of cool, but I got bored of it after a while, and I'm not very good at the PK part of it, so Yeah, Acer confirming that the Meta glasses do not have a removable battery. Right, that's my problem with them, or that is a problem with them. CD says, "Hey, it's CD tuned in. It's been ages." Yep. Welcome to the stream. Uh, what do you? I'm gonna kind of translate here. What do you like to do during your free time, and where do you get the TTS that you use? Okay. Texas Speech is from harposoftware.com. In fact, I made a demo on installing and buying those. As for what I do in free time, mainly comes down to books and messing with computers and talking to random people on the internet, most of whom I find through here, and I think that's pretty cool that we've built this little community. And my phone's going off. Danny, yeah, so basically saying that the Solos, yeah, they do have removable batteries. That's what I thought. And they're essentially Bluetooth headphones with a camera, which is why the battery life is so good. Yeah, I mean that's cool, but it's pretty expensive, and yeah. People saying hi, what's up? Sightless Stories says hello. Why do you delete you? Why? Blah, blah, I almost said YouTube. Why do you delete VTube? Because I didn't find it very useful, and when I used to use it, it wouldn't interrupt messages, so I'd get spammed with them. So I just find it's easier to do this. Acer. I wish I could get the other versions of Ivona voices. I don't know what those are. At Sightless Stories, do you like audiobooks? Yeah, excuse me, I listen to audiobooks most of the time. And yeah. What's your favorite slash least favorite game in constant motion? Favorite is the destruction one, where you use your items to destroy the walls before you hit them. Least favorite is probably the Corn Catastrophe one, because it's very confusing. I still don't really know how you're supposed to play that one. Let's see, I'm just going through here trying to find ones to really talk about. I like listening to your TTS Ivona voices. Yeah, it's a nice voice. I wish we could use some of these higher quality AI voices, but they don't run locally on machines yet, which is a bit of a shame. I guess because they still require too much processing power for most average computers. Acer talking about 32-bit versions of Ivona voices. Yeah, may not want to talk about pirating stuff on YouTube. I don't know if... Yeah, I wouldn't recommend that. Teresa. I'm not sure if that's right. Are you planning to do more mobile games? I have to think about that. I don't play a whole lot of mobile games. That's the problem. Though there was one that I was thinking about doing, and now, of course, I can't think of what it was. But yeah, I'll try to do. Oh, actually, yeah, there was one for iOS called Lane Defender. It's a haptic arcade game that uses haptics on your device. And I might do a demo of Vanguard as well, though that one's just a story-based thing like Time Crest, so I'm probably not going to play the whole thing. And I still need to try that one. CD. Speaking of books, did you ever get around to reading the Wind on Fire series? No, I need to look into those. I have a massive backlog of books I'm trying to get through. Brian, the problem with the solos, I think some of the features are subscription based. I think they are, but the core capabilities are not, last I checked. Philip Baker is asking what I think of Cosmic Rage. I really don't like it. I don't like space-themed games generally, and I don't really play MUDs anymore. I played it briefly, but I think it does enforce roleplay, and I don't like that. So, yeah, I may or may not do a demo of that. Blind Master Productions, good afternoon. Denny Breed says something about classes. Other than the Agija, Echovision, Ally Solos are the only companion AI smart glasses that can read the text word by word. I don't know. Like I said, I really haven't looked into any of these glasses because they're very expensive, and I don't think they're worth it yet. What type of computer you use? So I have a few different ones actually, but the one I'm using right now, this is a desktop computer. It's an Asus board with a 12th generation Intel processor. And of course it's running Windows 11. At Sightless Store, yeah, I hope there is another game like Rift as well. Because that was pretty good. I think they're going to continue it. I don't know when. Yeah, the Maze Man is pretty funny because he's just there to get you to donate to the to the game. At Blind Master, do you know how to schedule a stream through OBS because it's not starting automatically? I do not. I've seen the checkbox, but I don't know how it works because I haven't experimented with it. I guess I could run some experiments if you guys don't mind random streams popping up. Delise. Do I like playing game simulators like farming games? Not really. Those get kind of boring after a while. And we don't really have a whole lot of those in audio, unfortunately. Setlist Story is the other game by Sneaky Crab. Yeah, you mean Lengard. Yeah, I was lucky enough to pick it up for $6. But that was a promo thing. Uh, but yeah, I really need to try playing it. The problem is I've heard from a few people that it's not very good, and actually that was my initial views on it because it doesn't really tell you what the story is about. Apparently, it's still set in the same universe, but there's like different characters. I'm not really sure what the point is. How do you share your OBS screen? I don't know because I don't do that. Apparently you can create scenes in OBS to share things, but that might require someone with vision to help you, and I don't have anyone else here that's cited that is as technically competent as I am, so I'm not sure. Bryant, didn't STW enforce what? How is the Audio Adventures device doing? Any new? Yeah. So, How Close is the Ghost is the latest game that's come out. Apparently, there's one more that he's working on, which I will buy and demo. It seems to be pretty good. I don't know if anyone is actually making games for it. I kind of hope so, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I thought about doing it, but I don't really have a whole lot of good sounds, and I don't have people to do voice acting, so if I did do something, it would be pretty boring because it would just be me blabbing on and on and on. But no, the Audio Adventures hardware itself is pretty cool. Denny, does that desktop have an Intel Core i5? No, it's got an i9 12900K. Well, what is the part that you didn't like about Blind Quest 2? Trying to remember that. Oh, that was the one. I don't know. It was an okay game. I don't really like those that much anyway. They're kind of weird. Um, the combat in those games isn't very good. I mean, I guess it got better in Blind Quest 2 and 3. But Settler Stories Rift has a good ending. I still want to know more about the manor. Yeah, I do too. Hopefully we get a sequel. Blind Master Productions talking about planning on live chat and having people call in for some kind of independence discussion on YouTube. Yeah, no, I mean, that's the cool thing is if you put the infrastructure together, you can basically do almost anything you want as long as you don't violate their terms of service or you don't talk about certain things. Blind Master, I use scenes for the introduction part of my stream. Okay. At Sightless Stories, I hope there's Time Crest 4. If you could make a game with audio adventures, what would it be? I don't know. I'm not sure what kind of game I would make. It would have to be some kind of story. Knowing me, probably something with magic. Maybe maybe alternate worlds, alternate dimensions. Because I'm into mainly into fantasy and a little bit of science fiction, but it depends how good the science fiction is. Blind Master, I would love to be part of your voice acting team if you need. Yeah, I just don't know because I don't have good sounds. Denny. Holy crap, that desktop is powerful. Yeah, it's a pretty good machine. I expect it to last me at least another 5 or 6 years, if not longer. I'm gonna try to push for a decade. Because yeah, this hardware is not garbage. Regardless of what Microsoft may decide. And speaking of that, I have a nasty suspicion, since they've been pushing Copilot Plus as hard as they have, I have a nasty suspicion that they are going to force, at some point with Windows 12, which you know is coming, I have a nasty feeling that they're going to force Copilot Plus hardware. That'll be the next cutoff, but we'll have to wait and see. Bryant says David is the best part of those games, which is sad. Actually, yeah, you're probably right. David McCallion is pretty cool. I mean, I think they have some interesting mechanics, but yeah, I'm also glad I didn't spend a whole bunch of money on them either. Of course, he's talking about the Blind Quest games and Hellhunter. Though I think Hellhunter 2 has some pretty cool elements. It's just the way combat is handled is very very annoying. Marco asking if I like game books. Not generally speaking, no. I like Timecrest and Lifeline because they have timers and they feel more immersive because of it. But yeah, generally no. Sightless Story says dictation always has glitches. Yeah, I don't like dictation, especially since I stutter. So I tend not to use it. Mackenzie, imagine having voice chat in YouTube. That would be interesting. Could you please demo Transport World Simulator? I can try. I'm not very good at those types of games. So I did a demo of TubeSib, and I wasn't very good at it. But I can look at Transport World Sim. I've heard of it. I would really like to see Steam Trains demoed. Yeah, I'll take a look at it. You want David the Game? No, Brian's talking about David McCallion, the guy who does the voice in Hellhunter and Blind Quest. And there are people that apparently don't like him. I think they're crazy. He's pretty cool as far as I'm concerned. Wayne Electronics says there's actually a game for the general public called No Game. So is it a game at all? Well, I guess it is. That's kind of an oxymoron, isn't it? At Denny, I never got David's origin country because he speaks with an American accent in Western drama. Yeah, and Hellhunter and Blind Quest, it's British. Well, I mean, that's the point, right? That's the sign of a good actor. If you can change your voice that well, right? So. Sightless Stories. I love fantasy, realistic, young adult. What? Okay, I guess that's like books. Also, I love the hilarious titles you make for your gameplay videos. Well, good. I'm glad you like them. How long am I going to be in YouTube? Probably another half hour. I think I'm going to get off here about 3. Hi everyone, how are you? Chris, that's meow. 17, 18, okay. Hi everyone, how are you? Chris, yeah, I'm doing good. How are you? Denny. Oh yeah, press tab to move. Oh yeah, press tab to move. Yeah, that's kind of weird. Blind Master Productions, I'm considering to get the Audio Adventures console. Yeah, that's up to you. You might like it. I still can't believe how good the battery is. It still hasn't died on me. David is really good for Hellhunter. Apparently Caves of the Abyss are really hard, and the mimic sound is kind of hilarious, but also jump scare. Yeah, that's what drove me crazy about that game, was that maze. Why? Ewan Ferreira says, is there a game called Steam? I don't know. The Technological Genius says, hey everyone, hey. Someone else asking about Time Crest 4. Yeah, we don't know. It's been a while since 2020. Well, yeah, 2020 was when we got Time Crest 3. So I don't know. Sightless Story says voice chat on YouTube would be cool, but imagine spammers. Yeah, that's why you have to be careful. I don't care what YouTube. What? CD YouTube. Don't care what YouTube cares about what I can say and can't say. Yeah, well, the problem is, I mean, I get your frustration, but if you want to stay on YouTube, you got to kind of abide by some of their guidelines. I mean, I'm not a fan of that either, but yeah. Blind Master Productions. Pete, if you'd like to join Pete, what? Who is Pete Gustin? I'm not sure who that is. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern. Oh, 4:23 a.m. in Malaysia. Yeah, that sounds about right. Time zones make my head hurt. Therese Eric or something says David is a good voice actor. Yeah, he is. Time Crest is a pretty good game. I play it on my professor's iPhone 13. Okay. Yeah, that's the only downside about Time Crest. It is exclusive to iOS right now, which is a bit of a shame. Just Kodak says, are you saying you haven't charged that console? Yes, I haven't charged that console in 10 months, and it still works. In fact, I will show you right now.
How close is the ghost? Press A to return to your game, B to listen to records, or D to erase your game data.
Yeah, it's still working.
Press A to return.
Yeah.
I'm in the study. Press A to use the tape recorder, B to use the typewriter, or D to return to the library.
Yeah, and actually let me turn off the power. Yeah, I was put this back up here. I was playing it again to get some of the tracks that I missed. Yeah, no, I've been running this for I mean, I don't know the total run time, but I've probably gotten at least 10 hours out of the battery thus far, maybe 10 or 12. And it shows no signs of dying. Bryant talking about YouTube. Yeah, so YouTube, yeah, it's where a bunch of people are. So yeah, that's why I stay on YouTube. Saying Pete Guston is a blind surfer and voice actor. Okay. Yeah, I may have to check that out. Sightless Stories. Why do I prefer the guy's voice as a robot rather than a human in Rocococo? I don't know. Someone asking what Time Crest is. It's basically an interactive. It's like a game book with timers. So you're talking to a character from a different world, basically through a magical pocket watch. Character's called Ash. I get vibes that Ash is male, but I guess they deliberately try to make the gender ambiguous. But you're communicating with Ash. You can read messages. You make choices. Sometimes there will be parts where, say, Ash has to go to sleep, and so you'll have to wait in real time. So that might be 8 hours, might be 12 hours. Maybe Ash is traveling. So yeah, that's what that is. It's currently, unfortunately, only available on the iPhone and the iPad. Teresa something. Huh?
Where'd Dad go?
I don't know, but I'm live streaming.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. That child. My sister. Should I buy a Nintendo Switch for the Veil? No. You can get the Veil on other platforms. I would not give Nintendo your money. But that's just me. They've... I mean, I guess it's kind of cool that they have a screen reader on the Switch too, but yeah, it's not... Apparently it's not that good, and you can't turn it on independently. Jenny says, I'm sad the game The Vortex is gone from the Echo service. Yeah, I mean, that's the problem with this cloud-based stuff, right? Is things can come and go. I never played The Vortex. I don't really tend to interact with the Echoes that much because of my stutter. Delise says, how much do you get from YouTube? I get nothing. I don't think I'm big enough to be monetized. Philip Baker, how about Mistworld? I don't like Mistworld. I tried it briefly, and I didn't care for it. CD, how do you know if the battery's dying? Oh, I think he's talking about the audio adventures. I don't know. I've heard it just dies, which if that's true, that's pretty bad design. But I'll find out when the battery goes dead. But the good thing is this has a really, really good battery. So people talking about time crests. Yeah. Duskotica says real time to a point. Yeah, the highest timer in Time Crest is 24 hours. Also, Chris, if you ever want to join the Blind Community Radio Discord, okay, yeah, I might look into that. Danny, okay, how can I get the audio adventures? You go to trumantoys.com, TRUMAN toys.com, and you can learn more and buy it. Do you watch other audio gamers on YouTube, like Illegally Cited? Occasionally. I think his name's Jesse, right? He has some interesting stuff up there. Oh, look, I'm caught up. Wow. Yeah, so not that often, honestly. But it depends. Let's see. We have 16 watching now. That's not bad. All right, cool. I'm caught up for the time being. Yay! All right, it is 2:33, and yeah, I think I'll go for about another 20 to 25 minutes. So let's see. While I wait a couple minutes for some comments to come in. Yeah. So. Plans for the near future. I am going to do a demo of Play Palace, but not quite yet because it is constantly changing, and unless you know how to compile it, you have to run it from source code. So yeah, we're going to wait on that. But it is pretty cool because it's basically an open source gaming platform like Quentin C, and I think that's cool. So if you know how to contribute in Python, you can contribute and make it better for everyone. Let's see. Blind Master Productions, Blind Community Radio will have a YouTube soon. What is that about? What kind of radio stuff do they do? Just imagine a Timecrest timer to be 6 months. Oh, that would be ridiculous. That would be insanity. Can you do a demo of a Western drama on iOS? No. I think I've been over this before, but I bought the game for iOS. It ran like garbage on my iPhone 6S. I got my money back. And yeah, no, besides, I didn't really like that game anyway, so I don't want to spend money on it. And it is pretty expensive. Danny, do you know of a good scientific calculator I can use for my trigonometry classes? I don't know if this does it, because I haven't really looked at it. If you go to nathantech.net, that's nathantech.net, I believe. Wait, let me check that before I make a mistake. nathantech.net. What the hell? Or not. That's why I shouldn't give you the wrong information. What the? Okay, why isn't his site loading? Maybe I'm just not... Huh. Okay, I don't know. Well, you should be able to go to nathantech.net, and under his software section, he has a calculator, a scientific calculator. But I don't know how well it works. Delise says, hey, we can chat in Discord if you want. Yeah, just let me know. Oh, talking about how time is different between Alencia and our world in Timecrest. So I think the way that works, time flows differently between the two realms. So a very short period of time in our world could be a very long time in that world. At Super Michelle DJ, have you played Paw Prince? Yeah, in fact, I think I have a 2-part demo of that on this channel. It's a pretty cool game. It's very hard. CD, do you have a Play Palace server hosted? I do, but I'm mainly testing it. But yeah, I am hosting one at christopherw.me. Though I think right now it's teaming with bots, because I was testing that feature, and there's like 80 bots on there playing games, and it's kind of crazy to see how fast they do things. Game from Lacey Software. Oh, you mean Lacey Software? No, I don't use JAWS. I don't have a JAWS license, therefore I don't have a license for Lacey. And I don't really want one, quite honestly. Christian and secular music on Blind Community Radio. Oh, okay. Then maybe I won't join because I'm not really religious. But I guess we'll see. Why don't you use Windows Calculator? Talking about the comment for a scientific calculator. Yeah, I think Windows Calculator does have a scientific mode. Denny, yeah, apparently Nathan Tech is down. Let me try nathantech.net. Yeah, it's not loading, which means it's either down, I'm typing it wrong, or there's something wrong with my connection. Yeah, Bryant says if you're going to make a screen reader, it should be able to be turned on by a blind person. I believe this is in reference to the Nintendo Switch 2. Yeah, I completely agree. They really don't seem to prioritize accessibility. Yeah, I tend to agree. Nathan, yeah, so he bought the guy that runs Nathan Tech. He bought GMA Games and just kind of left them hanging. I think he should just make them abandonware, honestly. Oh, well, if you use a Braille Sense, then doesn't the Braille Sense have a scientific calculator? And if not, yeah, so Denny's talking about not being able to bring a laptop to school because, yeah, so if you have a Braille Sense, I would think that has a scientific calculator, and if it doesn't support that, you should contact Selvis or HIMS, because they should be able to add that, especially since one of their big focuses is on the education market. So I'm kind of surprised you can't do stuff like that with something like the Braille Sense. Can you do a demo of Night Commander in iOS? Actually, I think I can because I do have the game. So I will add that to the list of things to do. Dan the Blind Gamer, yeah, says if you have a Braille Note Touch, Touch Plus, or even in Apex, the built-in calculator can do trig functions. Yeah, so I would I would think the Braille Sense should be able to as well, and if it can't, they should add that. Elise is asking, do I use a Braille display? Not all the time. In fact, I'm not using one right now. But I do have a Focus 40. It's the old one with the whiz wheels on it. Denny, I have the Braille Sense, which has some trig functions, but not all. Yeah, then contact HIMS and see if they can fix that, because they should be able to. If there are games you cannot do as well, Chris, I can take the request for you if I can buy it or something for my channel as a series. Okay, that's up to you. Okay, cool. We're caught up. Yeah, no, I'm kind of surprised the Braille Sense can't do all that stuff, because I thought that was one of the big things that they promote with devices like that. Excuse me. Okay, let's look at some stats here. 16 watching now. Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay, we are good and caught up. Let me actually refresh the page here. Make sure I'm still streaming. We'll hit play. No, I don't want to moderate live chat. Go away. Yes, I don't need to moderate the chat right now. Oh well, this is behind. This is like 20 seconds behind. Wait, let me refresh it. Haha. Yeah, okay. So the live stream is still working. Werner says, I have the Focus 40, but the newer generation. Yeah, this is the old one from 2009 with the whiz wheels and USB mini instead of micro. And apparently they just announced another Braille display, but I don't know too much about it. But yeah, we got that display from someone from Canada. Apparently this lady was getting rid of it because she wanted something newer. So she sold it to us for $300. I think it was either $300 or $350. And I heard about that. I'm like, yes, buy that right now. That's a deal. So I've had it since 2017. Let's see. Is Audio Wizard still available in iOS 26? I don't think so. I think the only way to get that game now is through Steam. The mobile apps, to my knowledge, have been abandoned forever. Denny talking about more trig stuff. I don't understand how half of that works. So yeah, you're gonna have to experiment with it, and if it doesn't work, contact HIMS and see if they can add that. Okay, yeah, okay, I'm caught up. Very good. Okay. So I'll keep going here for another 10 minutes or so. So if you have any last questions that you want to ask, let me know. But I think that's gonna about do it. Let's see. Excuse me. Yeah, I guess this is pretty good. I've been going for about an hour and a half now. Blind Master Productions. I will show on my channel. Oh yeah, talking about the Plus version for the Echo devices. It's basically an upgraded version of the Assistant powered by a large language model. But you have to either pay for it or pay for Prime to use it, and I don't know if it's very good yet. Apparently, the Google Home speakers are now powered by Google Gemini, but I can't figure out how to upgrade the ones I have. I have a couple of Google Home Minis, and when I tried doing it in the Android app, I couldn't figure out how to accept the agreement, and then I went and used the iPhone, and I couldn't find it anymore. But apparently, yeah, Google is rolling out Gemini to Google Home and Nest speakers and displays, just like Amazon is with their Echoes. Dane says new Stormux image soon. I haven't checked if there's a new one. Speaking of Stormux, I'm actually thinking about doing a demo of installing. So the guy that maintains it, he made a version of Stormux that installs Arch Linux on standard x86 computers, and I'm thinking about demoing it. The only problem is I generally tend not to demo blindness specific distributions like that, just because they might go away at any time. But yeah, no, he's got some pretty cool stuff. That guy that makes all that stuff. Do you know Audio Games Tutorial? No, I do not. I've heard of the channel. I don't know who the person is that runs it, though. Blind Master Productions, have you considered having a bot read messages? Yeah, like I said, I tried that before with VETube, and I couldn't keep up with the messages, and I couldn't stop them from reading, so I was always being interrupted. Philip Baker said Nathan only needed VIP MUD because of his MUD Cosmic Rage, but he bought GMA. Yeah, I still wish he would have just made that stuff abandonware. Denny, I think... So I'm trying not to say ALEXA. The Plus service is available on... No, it's available on a bunch of different devices. I think the only ones that can't use it are the very early Echo devices, like the first generation Echo, the first generation Echo Show, maybe a couple of other devices. But no, the vast majority of Echo speakers and displays will work with it just fine. In fact, there's a page somewhere on Amazon's site that has the information about which devices are not supported, but I forget what it is off the top of my head. Blind Master says, "Oh yeah, it's free during early access for Plus." Yeah, so it might be free right now, but eventually you'll have to pay for it or have a Prime subscription. We have a Prime subscription, so I guess it doesn't matter. But I don't have it turned on right now because last time I tried turning it on, we couldn't figure out how to change the voice, and the voice was driving me crazy. But yeah, I may have to experiment with it just a little bit. Do I know Illegally Cited? No, I do not. No, I know of him. That's about it. Though that reminds me. So Someone showed me a clip of Liam Irvin's channel, which I used to check it out, but I got kind of tired of it because he was just playing a bunch of mainstream games with mods. But someone showed me a clip from one of his streams, and someone said he should collaborate with me, and he's like, I don't know, Chris. Thought that was hilarious. Jane says, I use Plus on a Pop and fourth generation Echo Dot. Yeah, so it's available on a whole bunch of things. Like I said, I want to say it's the first generation Echo Show, the first generation Echo, the second generation Echo Show, and the Echo Plus. So the vast majority of the devices we have in the house work with it. But for example, the Echo Show in here does not, because it's the original one. Which I still don't really know why they're doing that. I think it's marketing, because I mean, if it just talks to a server, there's no real reason to restrict it like that to specific devices. But these are big companies that are all about marketing and trying to get you to buy their products, blah, blah, blah. Dane says Destructotron made a YouTube chat reader for Linux on his GitHub. Okay. What's the software you use? Because there's a way to pause speech. So there's Blind Masters. Or Blind Master Productions. I was using VETube. And I couldn't figure out how to pause it. Dan the Blind Gamer talking about Audio Game Manager. I think it's pretty rough right now because of the transition to a new version of Wine. I don't know. I haven't really messed with it in a while because it's a bit of a mess. If you were going to make a game with David McCallion, what audio game would that be? I don't know. But he'd probably want me to pay him, and probably a lot of money, and I can't do that. So Jenny says I have an Echo Dot 5th gen. Yeah, so then you should definitely be able to use the Plus features. People saying hi. The tech advisor is here if you need it. Wait, what? Bryant says, I wonder if my old Echo Plus supports it. No, I don't think so. Brian Master Productions. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Echo Spot is not compatible either. Like I said, you'll have to look at the list. I guess what we could do, and this may not be the best. Let's just try this here. Tell me which devices don't support the Plus feature for the Amazon Echo products.
Most older first-generation Amazon Echo products do not support Alexa Plus. Specifically, the following devices are excluded: Echo Dot, 1st Gen; Echo, 1st Gen; Echo Plus, 1st Gen; Echo Show, 1st and 2nd Gen; Echo Spot, 1st Gen; Amazon Tap; Echo Buds, 1st Gen; Amazon Astro; currently unsupported. Additionally, while third-party Alexa built-in devices like certain Sonos speakers or smart fridges still work with the original Alexa, they generally do not support the full Alexa Plus suite yet. Would you like me to check if a specific device you own is compatible?
Okay, so that's an AI model telling me, so it may or may not be right. But from what I've been reading, that sounds pretty accurate. You want Ferrere says, well, what is a clip? You mean YouTube clips? I think that's just like you can take a clip from a video and embed it somewhere. So like if you take a specific piece of content from like a specific point in time, Denny's talking about signing up for Amazon Music Unlimited. You should be able to play specific songs. That's the whole point. Just don't forget to cancel your trial if you don't want to pay for it long term. At Sawyer Born 815. Okay. What is your opinion on Windows? Quite honestly, I don't like it, but like it or not, it's the standard, and if you want the most support, that's what you use. But yeah, I'm not a fan, especially considering all the stuff that Microsoft has been doing lately. Okay, Denny says, I contacted Amazon and the back-end team didn't get back to me. I'm not surprised. It's a big company. They don't talk to us mere mortals. We are beneath them. Oh. Okay. Blind Master Productions, you were talking about changing the voice on the Echo. Yeah, I think someone told me you can change it. You can say, like, switch to Feminine 2, which is a higher quality version of the older voice. Dan says you can hit Control P to stop or to pause speech with VETube. Maybe, I'm not sure. How do you do your text-to-speech skits? I made a demo of it. Basically, it involves generating audio files for the different voices and using an audio editor to put them together. But yeah, I made a tutorial that's about an hour long, explaining how that stuff works. No, Blind Master Productions. No, the software is called VETube. It's on GitHub. Okay, well, I think that's about it. And actually, it's 3:03, so maybe this is about a good place to stop. Let me just check real quick for comments. Okay, I'll talk about this pretty quick, and then I will wrap up. So Sawyerborn, have you used the BT Speak? No, I have not. It is very expensive. It's a cool device, and I like the concept behind it. So for those that don't know, it's basically a modern. It's basically a modern Braille and speak. The problem is it's $1,200 and it's powered by what's essentially a Raspberry Pi 4. So they're using basically the brain of a Raspberry Pi 4, and I don't think it's worth that kind of money. That, and apparently they've started charging for software upgrades. So if you want the full experience, you have to pay $20 a month or $200 a year. And that turned me away from it. I was thinking about it if they ever, say, came out with something that was running the Raspberry Pi 5 hardware. But no, I'm not going to pay a subscription for things like that. Denny is talking about using the Android app is not in my country, but I can use Amazon Music. Can use Amazon Music on my Echo in my country and on the web page. Yeah, I'm not sure. And you'd think Amazon would help you with that, but I guess they. It's a giant it's a giant mega corporation, so I'm not surprised. What is your favorite game in 2025 and least favorite? That's kind of hard. I don't know if I have a good answer for you. Yeah, I'm not sure. Probably favorite would have to be Play Palace, because Play Palace is pretty cool. But least favorite, yeah, I'm not sure off the top of my head. Sawyerborn says, yeah, that's the annoying part of it. I wouldn't mind it because they add a lot of cool features. So yeah, that's something that you'll have to decide for yourself. I just don't think it's worth paying a monthly or annual subscription. So it's VETube because it's not showing as. Hang on a second. Let me look this up real quick. VETube. So the GitHub username is Metal Alchemist, and so you should be able to find it there. Denny says, okay, Chris, gotta go for now. Talk to you on Discord. Okay. Sawyer Barnes says, I got one for Christmas and I love it a lot. Oh, probably talking about the BT Speak. Yeah, no, if they had better hardware, I might consider it, but yeah, no. And that is the end of my chat. Okay, so yeah, I think we're gonna end it here. Hope you guys have enjoyed. If you want to contact me on Discord, it is SLANNON97. Telegram is just SLANNON. Of course, you can go to the website christopherw.me. It's where I have most of most of the same content I have on YouTube. It's just a bunch of audio files. Yeah, so hopefully, yes. So You're Born is asking if I use Discord. Yep. Yeah, so Discord is SLANNON 97. Let me actually check that real quick. Yeah. And of course, if you go to my site, there's a page with contact information there. ChristopherW.me, ChristopherW.me. All right. What is the best audio games I could get on iOS? That really depends on what you like. I don't know if I can answer that. All right. That's going to do it for this live stream. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I don't know when I'm going to do another one of these. But yeah, so you guys take care, and I will come back at some point with some new content. We'll just have to wait and see what comes out and things like that. All right.